If you missed it, Sam Smith and Petras, they delivered a devilish performance of their hit song Unholy this weekend, and they also won an award at the Grammys for Best Pop Duo Music or Group. And this is especially notable because this is the first time that a trans person has ever won that category, so it's a pretty big deal. Which of course sent conservatives into a whole tizzy with their homophobic and transphobic comments and talking about a satanic panic and how this was grooming kids and teaching them with a satanic ritual performed on live television, which we all know is ridiculous and stupid. But yes, it got their attention. I mean, we're talking people like Donald Trump Jr. He ranted in a video, I'm going to try to make sure I get this correct, that the next conspiracy theory to go down the drain in Hollywood is that the music industry is totally not into satanic rituals, despite the symbolism and despite everything that we saw there. It never ends. He went on to say, they're going to crush everything we hold near and dear in America, our morality, our decency, our religion, our freedom, and they're going to replace it with this crap. Ted Cruz just made it really simple. He tweeted, "This is evil," about a Grammys performance. This is stupid is what it is. And my favorite is a conservative right-wing influencer named Shaney Rich. I may have pronounced that wrong. I don't care. He's a right-wing asshole. Anyways, he said that Hollywood is infiltrated by satanic rich radical left lunatics. They cancel Kanye West over his opinion and his net worth drops by 50%. Meanwhile, Sam Smith is allowed to have a satanic performance at the Grammys, and that is sponsored by Pfizer. I want to talk about that for a second here. Because what Shaney is talking about there with Kanye getting canceled, Kanye got canceled for his anti-Semitic, pro-Hitler views just to start with. That's why he was canceled. And deservedly so. But then again, I guess maybe people on the right don't have a problem with Nazis? So the reason I finished there with Shaney's quote is because I do want to talk about some real grooming that's going on here in the United States. There's a story I've been following for a few weeks about a group of, I'm not making this up, neo-Nazi homeschoolers. Yes, there's a neo-Nazi homeschooling ring led by a couple named Logan and Katja Lawrence. They operate a network of thousands of homeschoolers. They call it the Dissident Homeschool Network, and Vice News and Huffington Post have reported on this. Just to give you a little bit of information from the articles I've read, the Lawrences openly advocate a white supremacist ideology with the aims of making the children that they teach become wonderful Nazis. That is a quote from Katja Lawrence. She said that they started the school because she was having a hard time finding Nazi-approved school material for her homeschool children. And she has shared lesson plans that include Hitler quotes, pictures of a cake she baked for Hitler's birthday shaped like a swastika, and recordings of her children saying Sieg Heil. Here's the kicker though. Ohio school officials have investigated this homeschooling ring, and they found that there's nothing wrong and there's not going to be any actions they take. The district statement said that the district superintendent's review of homeschool education is limited to ensuring that a minimum of education requirements are met and that the academic assessment report shows that a child is demonstrating reasonable proficiency. Proficiency in Nazi ideology? That's complete BS. Okay, let's get real. This is all happening at the same time that conservative lawmakers around the country are trying to censor information about what students can learn in school about race, transgender, sexual orientation. And this brings me to a very specific example that I want to talk to you guys about. There's a school in Kansas City, the Urban Christian Academy. And it's been open for 9 years now. And a big part of their philosophy was that they taught an inclusive theology. They were quietly supporting their queer students and staff. But last year, after seeing all of this backlash against the LGBTQ community, they decided to go public. They updated their school mission statement. They had it on their website. They started stating they affirm their LGBTQ students and faculty. And they also informed their community of this in a newsletter that was sent out to all of their donors. And guess what happened? And 6 months after they made this announcement, they lost 42% of their funding from donations. And by the end of 2022, they had lost 80% of the contributions that keep this school running, this inner city school in Kansas City, for a tuition free for underserved students. They lost all of their funding because they're inclusive, because they're teaching kids about love and not hate. the school's going to be closing its doors this spring at the end of the school year. And I think that we need to get our priorities straightened out here in this country because, well, I guess the point I'm trying to make here is we have this faux outrage over a Grammy performance that they claim is grooming your kids, when the only grooming I've talked to you about here is kids getting groomed to be Nazis by their parents. And school boards don't seem to have a problem with that. But when one school comes out and says, we love our students, we want to affirm their rights and that we support them, that's what gets canceled with donations. We need to stand up and make sure that schools that teach love inclusivity are not targeted with that kind of hate.